Weekly episodes on mindset, motivation, and business. Speaking the information they don't want you to know. Two men on a mission to motivate millions. One, an ex-prisoner. The other, a former postman. Now, international speakers, world travelers, community leaders, and seven-figure online entrepreneurs. Brace yourselves. This is the Prisoner and The Postman podcast.
4 years ago, guys, I was sitting in a prison cell. And it wasn't my first time in prison. I've been in prison multiple times. I've had my teeth knocked out. I had an antisocial behaviour order. I was in a young offenders institution. I've suffered with bereavement, addiction. And over here, we have the postman.
My story, not quite as dramatic in the younger years, but I found myself in what I consider to be quite a dead-end job, and very unfulfilled and very unhappy, walking the streets, delivering the mail, knowing that I had something more to give. I knew that for a fact. And I had tried in the past as well. I had tried to become an actor, and I made some moves in that industry, but I got knocked down time and time again. I even tried to be a wrestler once. I wanted to be in the WWE, even though I'm only 5'9", and I got knocked down time and time again. I kept getting knockbacks, right? And I know Lewis has experienced this in a big way as well, getting knockbacks physically, mentally, emotionally, until I eventually managed to find that thing that allowed me to build that seven-figure business alongside my business partner, Lewis. And we have got quite a couple of stories to tell these guys, haven't we, Lewis?
We certainly have, my friend. And we are just ordinary people. That's why we've named this podcast The Prisoner and The Postman, because we are just your average Joes. And we've turned our life around within a short period of time. We've done that just by figuring out a few things about mindset, figuring out a few things about how the online world works, and then having the motivation to plow through every day. And that's why what we're going to share with you on this podcast is mindset, motivation, and business. But from people that have actually been there and done that. We haven't had life handed to us on a plate. We've had to graft. We've had to figure out what works. We've figured out what doesn't work. And within a short period of time, we've completely transformed our lives. I was a convict, and now I'm a coach. Liam was delivering the mail, and now he's delivering value on this podcast right here, right now. And we are excited to launch the Prisoner and the Postman podcast.
There's one really important aspect of this for everybody listening, and that's you are learning from two people who have been there and done it and who continue to do it. You are not learning from people that were born with a silver spoon in their mouths. You are not learning from people who have graduated from university with a master's degree in all elements of business. You are learning from people who have come from the very, very bottom and are rising to the very, very top every single day. And every single method, every single technique, every single secret as well. We want to be able to talk about that throughout this podcast. I think before we dive in, because I can never get enough of hearing these stories, right? I can never fucking get enough of it. I just love it. And obviously everybody listening, this is their first introduction to The Prisoner and the Postman. Lewis, just tell us a bit about where you're from. Right? Tell us a bit about your journey. Just give us the story. Give us the juicy details.
I would love to, Liam. I was going to call you Mr. Postman. But yeah, this is Liam, the Postman. No, this is not. This is going to get you really confused. This was Liam that just spoke. I am the prisoner. You will get it after a while, I promise you. But right now, I am Lewis, the prisoner. And yeah, I'd like to just spend a couple of minutes sharing a little bit about my journey with you, because it's important, because I want you guys to realize that, we've been on this journey. We haven't just got books, badges, and certificates. And today, as we stand here and present this podcast to you, yes, we have got an accredited training academy. We do qualify many, many coaches and help people build many, many businesses across the world. However, we've come from nothing, and we've really been able to learn from experience what works. And if anyone was ever going to change, I genuinely believed it was never going to be me. I was the worst of the worst I was the person that always went too far. I was the one that, everybody thought would never change. And, from a young age, I've been getting into trouble. At 14, I had an antisocial behavior order. At 15, I was expelled from school. At 18, I was in a young offenders institution. And I've been in prison 3 times for some quite serious offences. I've had my teeth knocked out. I've been, had concussion so many times I can't even count. I lost my license due to predisposition to epilepsy because of the fits I was having from drinking. I ended up becoming an alcoholic, a drug addict, and I was diagnosed with 3 different mental health diagnoses. I suffered with bereavement, trauma, and the list really does go on. And that was my life. This wasn't just a period of my life. That was my life from the age of 14, where I really first started getting into trouble, to 24. That decade was just in and out of prison, in and out of courtrooms. I've got 19 different convictions, so many near-death experiences, and that was honestly my life. But I came to a moment where I was in prison for the 3rd time, and I'll tell you this story another time in a much more detail, but I just realized that I couldn't keep blaming everything and everyone around me for why my life was so difficult. And I needed to take responsibility for myself. And for the first time ever, I realized that if I wanted to change my life, first I had to change myself. And since then, I've just taken a journey of self-discovery that's become so progressive and so quick. I've just taken one step in front of the next every single day for 4 years, to the point where now I'm flying around the world, living in Bali, speaking on stages. And I'm like, how the fuck did this happen? And I often talk about it and say, I always used to say things spiraled out of control, but now they spiral into control. And you never really hear anyone say that. My life spiraled into control because I learned what was holding me back. I learned the person I was. I went through therapy. I went through 6 months fully intensive rehabilitation treatment. I went to drug and alcohol meetings every single day for months on end. I moved away from my friends and family. I went back to college. I started to help people. I started to learn and read books. And from doing those things and seeing the results in my life, it's fueled me to keep on moving forward. And 4 years ago, I was in a prison cell. And today, I sit with you sharing the first ever episode of the Prisoner and the Postman podcast. And it's been an incredible journey so far.
It's been an incredible journey. And I think the significance behind all of that, right, for our listeners is I can imagine there are so many people listening to this thinking, all right, yeah, but it's okay for you guys. Yeah, it's okay for you guys. You're not like me. I'm different. I can't be successful. I can't build a business. And every day listening to podcasts about business and mindset and motivation, and still having that thing in the back of their head, that thing in their mind saying, yeah, but I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not fast enough. I'm not smart enough. It's just not me. Now, hearing Lewis's story, and like Lewis said, he is the last person in the world that he would have considered to have changed, like that he thought would be able to change his life around. And he's not just changed it around, but he's turned his life into a significant success, right? So I just want to make the point, and this, by the way, is Liam, the postman, talking. You guys will get confused at some point. It's okay. But I just want to make the point that you can do it. If we can do it, you can do it. And we, people say that a lot, but we genuinely mean it, right? Only 4 years ago, I was a full-time postman. Full-time, that was my job. I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning, every single morning. I used to get to work at 5:45. I would spend the first couple of hours of the day organizing the mail whilst listening to the broken dreams of every single person that I worked with, saying about how life was shit, talking about how they hated their job, talking about how they didn't like their families or their wives, talking about how they never should have been there, but all of a sudden they blinked and they were a postman for 40 years. And I genuinely, in many respects, had a lot of respect for these people because they were open and honest about it. And they would talk very transparently about this being the position they were in. But what I also knew is that I didn't want that to be me. I first became a postman because at the time I was a budding actor. I had graduated from drama school, and I thought, you know what, if I become a postman, then it allows me to go to auditions because I'm going to finish work at 12 o'clock every single day. And if I finished work at 12 o'clock, it means that if I have an audition, as long as that audition is 1 o'clock onwards, I can make it to the audition. And all of a sudden, 1 year went by and there weren't that many auditions. And then all of a sudden 2 years went by and there were even less auditions. And I thought, shit, I'm blinking and years are going by and I'm delivering the same mail to the same houses on the same route every single day. And I felt more and more unfulfilled. I felt less and less happy. And I felt further and further away from being able to achieve anything of any sort of, of any sort of note. And that all of a sudden, the idea of being able to make money, travel the world, having an exciting life, be full of adventure and choices and freedom, all of this stuff that I valued a lot when I was younger just seemed further and further and further away. I thought that's what being a famous actor was going to get me. But then all of a sudden, that completely disappeared and dried up. And it was only when I, much like Lewis, discovered the power of mindset, discovered the power of coaching, and allowed myself to absorb that information as much as possible to the point of becoming what we now know as coaches. I was able to drag myself out of the mud, as it were, and become a successful business owner. And midway through being a successful business owner, I was hit in the face in a big way when I lost my dad to suicide in October 2018. And that was significantly the biggest bit of adversity I ever needed to face. I lost my dad to suicide unexpectedly, tragically. And then exactly 80 days after his death, his twin brother died of cancer, someone who I was very, very close with. And it was then in that moment, much like with Lewis's experiences, I needed to utilize my own mindset training to be able to live and move forward every single day without fucking crumbling. And it's through these skills and these techniques and this knowledge and wisdom that we have not only been able to level up our own lives, level up ourselves as individuals, but also create a very, very successful business off the back of that knowledge. So if at any point you've thought, why on earth would I listen to a postman and a prisoner tell me about business mindset and motivation? Just know that we have been there, we've done it, and we continue to do it every single day. And we will tell you every secret you need to know to become successful.
We live and breathe this stuff. Like, we absolutely live and breathe it. We read it, we learn about it, we train it, we speak it, we apply it to our own lives. Like right now, I mean, just posted in the community 2 days ago, my nan unfortunately passed away to what we believe may be coronavirus. I'm also not able to see my girlfriend because of the whole restrictions of the borders. And we're also, building an empire. And sometimes we might work 16 hours a day, and we have challenges, and we have staff, and we have communities of hundreds of people that we want to show up for. And things can get difficult, but we still push forward every single day. And just like today, we're recording our launch of our podcast. Things are going on in our personal lives. Yeah, they are. Things are going off in our business lives. Yeah, they are. But we still show up every single day because we know that we've got a way of getting through life and being able to reframe things and look at the positives and still push forward regardless of how things might affect us. So today, as we sit here with you, we are very excited to launch the Prisoner and the Postman podcast, because we know for a fact that what we've got to share with you works. We've applied it in our life, and we've applied it to hundreds of other people's lives. So that brings us on actually to our business. Now, we won't make this a full-on plug of what we do, because you're going to learn about that over the other episodes. But we are Lewis and Liam. We are the Prisoner and the Postman. But we also are the co-founders of the Coaching Masters. And that is a online coaching community that spans over 47 different countries. We do international events. We do accredited online courses. And we help people create freedom by building an online coaching business. So we have lots of experience of delivering results, of helping people. We've had job quitters. We've had people making a lot of money. We've had people creating a lot of fulfillment. We've had a lot of impactors that have come from doing the courses that we provide. And now we are here to share with you all our best bits on one weekly episode at the Prisoner and the Postman podcast. And I don't know about you, Liam, but I'm pretty excited about today.
Yeah, I'm very excited about today. This is a real milestone for us and a milestone for our listeners. And just to get you guys excited, the upcoming episode is going to be all about how to block haters out of your life for good. So we're going to start off with a bang, and every single episode after that is going to be not only packed with value, but we're going to have a few laughs. It's going to be exciting and telling you the things that people don't want you to know in the world of business and entrepreneurship and coaching and mindset and all of those things you need to be a success. So hold tight, brace yourself. This is going to be a wild ride.
Because there are so many things that they don't want you to know. You know, society is designed to keep you stuck, to pay your bills and to die and to just exist rather than live. You even step into the world of entrepreneurship and the online world, and even then you've got people telling you how to grow your business and how to, you know, invest in the next quick rich scheme or the overnight magic pill that's going to create you the success you desire. We are here to expose this, to give you the actual valuable information that you truly need to change your life and to create freedom for yourself in every sense of the word. Our business, our tagline, it's coach your way to freedom. And that doesn't stop with our business. That is what we live and breathe. That is our mission and our vision. You know, we want to help people create freedom. We'll be doing that through this podcast. So we're going to be exposing the truths. And we're going to be talking about some controversial topics. We might decide to talk about a little bit of conspiracy one day. We might decide to talk about aliens one day, but we're also going to bring in all sorts of different psychology, all sorts of different business strategy and opportunities so that you guys can, I was about to say, can not only survive, but thrive. And then I thought, you know what? Bit cheesy. So we'll drop that one out, but you get the intention. We're going to help you guys absolutely smash it because we got a lot of value to share. And you're going to get that every single week completely free as long as you come and join us for the Prisoner and The Postman podcast.
Mate, what a ride this is going to be. How good is that? And everybody's going to be able to go away from each of these podcasts with genuine steps they can take, actual methods, tangible things that they can do to make a difference in their lives. We're not going to be those guys that do a podcast and just throw around a bunch of ideas and then leave you thinking, yeah, that sounds great, but how the fuck do I actually apply that to my life and to my business? We're going to be giving you tangible steps that you can take, as well as massive insights and uncovering secrets. This is genuinely going to be the only podcast you ever need to listen to on mindset, motivation, and business. We promise that.
I don't think there's anything more left to say other than thank you for joining us for this first ever episode, and make sure you check out the full episode on episode 2 for when we're going to be talking about how to block the haters out your life for good. And make sure you join us every single week, because we are about to change the game in the podcasting industry and showing you all the things I don't want you to know here live every week at The Postman. Oh, shit. I nearly was on a good run there. The Prisoner and The Postman. Even I get it confused.
Isn't it funny though? For so long we were calling this The Postman and The Prisoner, and it's actually our community that was like, no, it has to be The Prisoner and The Postman. It rolls off the tongue better. But yeah, this is The Prisoner. And also, guys, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, give us a rating, and don't forget to listen in for every single new episode that gets released.
That does remind me, we forgot to give them that little incentive because this is a launch. We want to gift this back to you guys. So if you give us a rate, review, and subscribe, and screenshot that and send that to our business email, which is info@thecoachingmasters.com, we're going to send you a $10 Amazon voucher just to say thank you for joining us on our launch day. And we really, really appreciate the little boost of algorithm in the world of podcasting, and hopefully allow us to get this podcast out to the masses so we can share the value that we've got to offer with the big wide world of podcasting.
100%. And for everybody listening to this, remember, just know that this term gets fucking thrown around too much, but with us, we actually mean it. If we can do it, you can do it. And we will teach you how throughout these podcast episodes. If you're listening to this, you can achieve anything. We believe in you, and we will help you get there whilst having a laugh at the same time.
You've been listening to the Prisoner and the Postman podcast with your hosts, Louis Raymond Taylor and Liam James Collins. For more information on what we do, visit theprisonerandthepostman.com. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe.